Hi everyone, I'm Josh and welcome to Josh Wright Piano TV. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's episode is about how to resolve phrases. Basically, what I mean by that is how to get softer at the ends of phrases. A lot of students struggle with that. I'm going to be demonstrating with one of my favorite pieces of all time. These are this comes from the set of 3 mazurkas, Opus 59. I'll just demonstrate with number 1, and I'll just demonstrate the first 4 bars. Nothing fancy here. Let's keep going. Okay, and you can actually see a recording of me playing this at the National Chopin Competition. Funny side note, this was so soft. I think it was there that it actually came in on the recording where they started pressing record, which is hilarious. So anyway, you won't get the first couple notes if you listen to that recording. Ganesh asked this question from India, and he or she, sorry, I believe I didn't look up the gender of that name, but Ganesh asked, how do I get softer? What are some technical ways, or like the way I can hold my hand to get softer so I can resolve phrases better? I remember many years ago, and I did not prepare this before, but right there. I learned a new way of doing it from Sergei Babayan, and the first way that I learned was from Susan Dolmeyer, my lifelong teacher, who I'll still go see a few times a year for lessons. She's amazing. And then I'll talk about what Babayan taught me later on. So Susan always had made a very conscientious effort with her students to be very intimate with the keys and pull back. So when we had like the end of a piece that needed to be very soft, she'd say, flatten your hands and pull back. And I remember this was just a huge catalyst for getting softer. That's step 1. That's one way of resolving. So if you're playing this mazurka, Ganesh, I've heard a lot of students hit that too hard. It's not even accented, just sounds a little accented because it sounds unnatural. And here, so I don't get those ghost notes, I can, again, use heavier arm weight, pull back on those keys a little bit. And then make sure, I'm being really walking on a razor's edge here, I'm being really crazy about this, but you can play a little louder. So that helps that to be softer. Just a gorgeous little piece, and really seductive, and doing these resolutions helps. So again, first one, pulling back with a flatter finger. Or you could resolve that slightly if you want. Resolve down, crescendo. Too soft, so this can be even softer, and I'm pulling back. One other tool for your tool belt, a different way to resolve. This is a lot more dangerous, so be careful with this, but it feels wonderful in a lot of places. You just have to be the judge of, am I completely missing the note half the time? And this was what Sergei Babayan had showed me in this. Lifting the weight up. And that's not the best example because it was thumb, thumb. This is a better example here. He said, lifting this just gives you this control of playing very light. And it's true. It feels really good because you've just lifted the weight artificially, and you're just doing and I guess you're kind of doing step 1 still. You're still doing a little bit of a stroke motion. But what that does is it prevents a student from rotating into it and really smacking it, or just playing down too hard. But you have to calibrate that. You have to figure out what's going to work. And a slightly flatter finger still helps right there as well. So those two things. Feels a little more awkward to do that one, but you can still do it. You can You can see it still works. I haven't really played that since the Chopin competition in 2015. It's so beautiful. I need to do a pro practice on this. I will at some point. But I hope today's tips, those two ways of resolving, flat, pulling back, or lifting the arm weight up to pull some of the weight out and just allow the finger to stroke back gently up here. That's another way of controlling a resolution, or how to resolve a phrase or get softer. And this is nice just for overall lightness of touch too. So if I'm playing something like this D flat nocturne, which we've covered on this channel, these notes right there, I'm using a little bit of stroking motion with those flatter fingers to achieve that. Here I might do the lifting one. But if you don't like that one, if it's just inconsistent, scoot the finger in like this, flatten it and pull out. That one takes more effort, but it might give you a softer result because you have so much more surface area on the keys. Someone who does this a lot is Daniel Trifonov. If you watch him play any slow lyrical works, Sergei Babayan does it too. It's a little less evident in Babayan's playing because he has smaller hands. So as he strokes back, it doesn't look like as big of a deal compared to Daniel, who seems to have larger hands. You can see the fingers flatter and then pulling in slightly, or just pulling back all the way with the arm. Sometimes Daniel will almost put his whole finger on the key, I've noticed just in a few of his video recordings. That's extreme, but it's still going over this same concept. And I consider Daniel to be the greatest young pianist in the world, and I consider Sergei to be my favorite pianist ever. So anyway, I hope that helps. If any of you have any questions, my email's josh@joshwrightpiano.com. Thanks for joining me today. If you don't mind leaving a like or subscribe to the channel if you're not already, that helps to spread the word about this. Share it with friends who might find this helpful. I'll leave a few links to my paid courses in the description below if you'd like to go even deeper than this channel goes over. The Pro Practice series and the VIP Masterclass series. And finally, I will leave a link. Oh, I'll leave a link to a free webinar as well, containing 10 of my favorite tips if you need more practice tips for the new year. And lastly, I will leave a link to my gear kit, which contains all the gear I use to make these videos. The mics, the audio interface, the lighting, everything in this studio, and some other resources that I've found helpful. Have a great week. Good luck in your practice sessions.